I'm honored and excited to introduce to you Chief Samuel Oluyemisi Falae, CFR. Now that President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is winding down, we're in one of the most important political seasons in our country, with all the political party primaries concluded, with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, and Obi emerging as the presidential candidates of APC, PDP, and the Labour Party, respectively. Do you think the elections will hold with the threats of Yoruba Nation and IPOB agitators threatening to ensure that it doesn't?
Yes. Well, first of all, I hope the terrorists, the bandits, the Boko Haram, and the ISWAP, and allied criminal gangs will allow an election to take place. That's number one. And if the election is going to take place, then we have a chance. The so-called big parties have shown their hand. They've chosen their presidential candidates, and their people we know very well. Two old friends. They are friends, and both of them are friends of mine as well. But the salvation lies in a different direction. You see, the big parties, what they have, apart from money, is what I call control of the political establishment. What do I mean by that? I mean the people who reside in every unit, in every ward, in every local government, who are members of these big parties, who have been beneficiaries of their patronage as either councillors, or chairman, or commissioner, or minister, or ambassador, or contractor, who have made money through these parties, who are therefore fiercely loyal to them because of future patronage. They are the ones who rig elections, who make change difficult. But fortunately, we have a large number of voters, mainly young people, who outnumber the people I've talked about. You heard about 20 million unclaimed voters' cards. I believe those are made up largely of young people who are frustrated, who don't feel they belong. If someone can mobilize the youth and succeed in making them see their future in terms of what that person is going to do, they can spring a surprise and produce a president who does not look like Tinubu or Atiku. I don't know who that may be, but just an idea I have. There must be some person somewhere who could mobilize all these people, gather all the frustrated people who are in the majority, and get them to vote for his agenda of giving Nigeria a new lease of life, in which the youth will have a future. If they can get it to fever pitch, as we had at the time of Abiola, if anybody in the Southwest in Abiola's time said, who is Abiola, he'll be lynched. During Babajashin's time in Ondo State, when they rigged this election, there was a spontaneous reaction by the people against that. NSAS experience showed us what the youth can do when they believe that their future was at stake. So that's what I'm talking about. We can mobilize people to that level. Let them see and believe in what we are preaching. The rest is in their hands. They will push the establishment aside and elect a government of their own choice. And they are more than the establishment. I'm not saying it is easy, but I'm saying it's a possibility. If we are able to elect a president or a government that sincerely and genuinely believes that Nigeria must have a new lease of life through restructuring and a new constitution and decentralization and devolution of powers, responsibilities, and resources, not only to state but to local governments, then we'll have a chance. That is the chance I see, but it's subject to the terrorists allowing us to have an election.
Sir, before we leave, may I indulge you in asking this question? What is your advice for the youth of this country who are frustrated with the emergence, as they put it, of the same old money bags that have contributed immensely to the destruction of the country and of their future?
I mentioned something earlier. I'll go back to it. I said, the hope I have is that there will be a candidate who will be able to reach out to the youths, persuade them, convince them that they can effectively represent their interest in government and mobilize them to re-engage in the political process. Many of them have refused to re-engage. And I said, those 20 million PVC cards belong to them. If a candidate emerges, it's not three parties that will contest the election, not just PDP, APC, and Labour. There are maybe 4 or 5 others, or 6 or 7. If one of those can reach out to the youths and mobilize them, they can win the election. Because those who are not voting are far more than those who are voting. So that is where, so the youths, if they can, like they mobilize themselves for NSAS, can mobilize themselves for a candidate whom they believe will reintegrate them into the society. Now they feel they are not part of it. If you left university 3 years ago, you have no employment, you can't get married, you have no accommodation of your own, you have no car. Are you part of society? So, if somebody is able to convince them that under his leadership, all that will be done, I believe it's possible for such a candidate to win election.
What is your prediction of the outcome between these 3 front-running presidential candidates?
Well, I said earlier that if the election is going to hold, that we have an option in mobilization of the youths and the frustrated people. Many of them have not collected their voters' cards. But you just mentioned reasons why it may not hold. The ethnic nationalities who are insisting, IPOB and Yoruba Nation. But to me, more potent than those you mentioned are the terrorist organizations who are also jostling for power. If there's a power vacuum in Nigeria today, I will not be surprised if some people set up some Islamic republic somewhere. They too are jostling for power. It's not just the ethnic groups, the terrorists. So those who may make election difficult or impossible are many. That's why I said we hope there will be an election that will be acceptable, that will meet the canons of free and fair and acceptable elections. I don't know what's going to happen. Somebody was saying, in my opinion, which candidate do I think ought to win? Well, that is a difficult one for me. First, I'm not sure there'll be an election. 2, I don't know.